bitch to say it. Ladies, you wanna know why black men be choosing these white bitches?
No.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, S.W. Griffin. This is the Hear Me Out podcast, and we're going to be talking about black women say that they don't need black men. Well, if you say you don't need black men, there are consequences to saying stuff like that. We've heard all this quibble and dribble before from black women who say, those niggas ain't shit. Exact quotes. I've heard those words, exact quotes. Well, if we ain't SHIT, then why do you complain when we marry other ethnic groups of women? Why do you complain? We're going to get into it. That's the topic for today. Black women say that they don't need black men. Well, black men have something to say about it, and they're doing it with their actions more than they are words. Let's get busy. You're listening to the Hear Me Out podcast with your host, S.W. Griffin. Hit the like and subscribe button, please. So, black women say that they don't need black men, and you hear that a lot nowadays. You hear it quite often. But here are some statistics that you need to understand. Up until 2 years ago, black women are only getting married at the rate of 26%. That means one out of every four black women, only one out of every four black women would get married. Now, today, it's dropped to 25%. Only one out of every five black women will ever get married. That means if you had 100 single black women all in one room, only 25 of them would ever get married. 75 of those women will live out the rest of their lives as single women. Let that sink in. They would live out their lives as single women. Of course, the sexual thing is going to continue. 80% of black children today are born out of wedlock, whereas up to 1965, 80% of black children were born after black women were married. So the single thing has nothing to do with women not having children. They're just not getting married. But the kicker to all this, I know you heard these statistics before. 54% of black men are single and childless. 54% of black men are single and childless. 61% are in the middle class. Now, if 80% of black children today are being born to single mothers, who are the men that are fathering these black children? Who are the men? It's only 18 to 20% of black men that are fathering the 80% of black kids that are born out of wedlock. And who are these men? There's Chad. They're Pookies and Ray Rays that we call them as black people. Pookie and Ray Ray. Pookie and Ray Ray. Pookie probably has about 20 or 30 kids that he goes to see their mamas in the projects every first of the month after they get their welfare check. He may borrow their EBT card and go to the groceries, get him some groceries, and he'll bang her out for the day and make her happy. Maybe get her pregnant again, get another baby. Ray Ray will do the same thing. He's got about 15 to 20 women that in the projects that he's got pregnant. And so these are the decisions on the type of men that a lot of black women are making. And see, people say, well, I deserve to have better than that. No, you don't deserve anything. The only thing is you deserve is the results from the decisions that you make. If you make good decisions, you'll get good results from those good decisions. But if you make bad decisions, you're going to get bad results from those terrible bad decisions that you make. So if you lay up and have baby after baby after baby without being married, that is a detrimental lifestyle that is going to turn out bad for you every single time. And what man in his right mind would want to come behind it if he's a good man and he goes to work every day and he wants to get married and have children? Why in the hell would he want to come behind another man and take care of his seed? Listen, in the lion kingdom, in the animal kingdom, male lions will fight another lion to take over the pride. There may be 8 or 10 female lionesses in the pride, and maybe just 2 males. And he'll fight those males, or that one male, if it's just one male that's over the pride. He'll fight that one male to take over the pride. And if he wins, then all the females that have little cubs running around, he will go and he will kill every cub, because he wants those lionesses to go into heat. Because if he kills the cub, then they'll go into heat again, and he can mate with them and spread his own seed. Now, we as humans, we are not that barbaric. We're not animals. But no man in his right mind wants to come behind another man and raise his seed and take care of his seed. And women will lie and say that this man's baby, that baby is this man's baby, when it isn't. I know for a fact, because it has happened in my life from seeing other people that it happened to. It has happened, and I've seen it happen. So no man, again, no man wants to take care of another man's seed. That is just how we're built. We're territorial. God created us that way. And see, back in the day, it was a great thing if a man got a virgin, because he knew that he was passing his seed on if this woman was a virgin. But you don't have that today. You don't have that today. They didn't have DNA testing back in the 60s and 70s. That didn't come along until around about the middle, late 80s, when they first started hitting the market, DNA testing. And DNA testing freed a lot of criminals of rape, a lot of people who were charged with rape charges. It freed them. It freed them because they brought in the DNA testing and found out that man, that was not his sperm that was in that lady that was raped and killed. It's happened many times, and thank God for DNA testing now. Personally, here's what I believe. I believe that there should be a law, a universal law in the United States, where there is DNA testing the day of the birth, that you can test, that the DNA test is automatically done. They take a swab of that baby's saliva out of his mouth, and they do the DNA testing right there that day. And within 24, 48 hours, that man will know whether that's his child or not. It should be automatic. I'm not against that. Now, a lot of women are against it because it's going to show that they've been cheating. But that man needs to know whether that child is his or not. And thank God we have the technology today to do DNA testing to find out if a baby is that man's or not. It's a great thing. So this is where we're at in society, and I'm going to play a couple clips for you, and then we'll get back.
So the men are in my comments crying, women don't want to submit today. Women need to be like the women of old. Are you the men of old? Can you provide? That's the question. Can you provide, sir? Can you profess your love to this one woman? Can you provide for all of her needs, pay all of her bills? Can you protect her? If you cannot do that, you should not be running your lips about women don't want to submit. Why should we submit to men? We have to help to provide, pay the rent, pay the mortgage, put food on our table, help you to lead and direct. If you cannot submit, sir, you are not worthy of submission. Do you know why the church is in submission to Christ? Because Christ paid it all. He paid it all. He paid it all. Jesus paid it all. Can you pay it all? Can you? Then stop running your lips about submission.
Now, that was spoken by a woman that I know for sure she doesn't have a man. I know she doesn't have a man. But here's the thing that people need to understand, that Jesus paid for the sins of the world. He did not pay the bills of the world. He paid for the sins of the world. When he was crucified on a cross, he took upon every sin of all mankind forevermore, so that whoever believes in him don't have to perish. You can have eternal life if you believe in him. So he paid for the sins of the world, not the bills of the world. But here, I want to read something from you this is from the Bible. And a lot of people, especially women, don't want men to read this. This is in Proverbs chapter 31. Verses 10 through 31, and I'm going to read it for you. This is called the virtuous wife. This is from the New King James Version that I'm reading from. It's the virtuous wife, and the King James Version says the virtuous woman. But it reads like this. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. She also rises while it is yet night and provides food for her husband, for her household, and a portion for her maidservants. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there for a second. Does this sound like a woman that is lazy, that depends on her husband for everything? No, she works with her own hands. She does things with her own hands. And it says she provides for her household and a portion for her maid servants. She considers a field and buys it. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good and her lamp does not go out by night. That means she is continually working. She is not a lazy woman at all. She stretches out her hand to the distaff, and her hand holds the spindle. That means she's weaving and threading garments and so forth. She extends her hands to the poor. Yet, yes, she reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household. This woman is busy. She's not afraid of the household snow for her household. For all her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gate. See, a woman that is a helpmate will be a woman that helps her husband to fulfill his goals in life, to fulfill his calling in life. That is the primary job of a woman, to help a man to fulfill his calling in life. Eve was created for Adam as a helpmate, but for some reason this has all gotten lost in the translation of what a woman is supposed to be today. It's all about me, all about me, all about me. Buy me this, buy me that, buy me that. You got women out here who want to be taken care of and treated just like a wife, even though they're not a wife, and they don't even have your ring as a man. They don't have your ring on her finger, and she doesn't have your last name, but she wants you to pay her bills, pay her rent, take care of her nails, take care of her hair, and take her shopping, give her shopping sprees, and take her to faraway exotic places on vacation. That is just insane. That is not something that you do for a woman that you're dating. She doesn't belong to you. You do that for the woman that's your wife. You do that for the woman that has your ring on her finger, and she has your last name. If she doesn't have your last name and a ring and your ring on her finger, you don't owe her anything but to treat her nice, take her on a nice date, pay for the date. She wants to go to a nice restaurant, take her to a nice restaurant. Want to go to the music park, take her to the music park, bar, whatever she wants in the music park. But that's it. See, you can't be giving women things that they don't deserve because they haven't fulfilled the role that they're supposed to fulfill to get those things. And that's accepting a man's ring and saying, I do, either at the church altar or at the justice of the peace in front of a judge. She makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates. I read that. When he sits among the elders of the land, she makes linen garments and sells them and supplies sashes for the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom. This is another thing that women don't do today. Women today will destroy their own household with the tongue. With their tongue. The Bible says death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. And so you got women out here using that two-edged sword that's in their mouth, cutting up their own husbands, tearing down their own household, and then they wonder why they end up 55, 60 years old and they don't have it, because you brought a curse on your own house. You brought a curse on your own household by tearing down your household with your own tongue. It says she opens the Proverbs 31 woman, the virtuous wife, she opens her mouth with wisdom, not to tear down. And on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. See, an idle woman that ain't got nothing to do but get on the phone and talk about who dropped the 411 and who dropped kicked who today, like Aretha Franklin says in the song Jump, Jump, Jump to It. Who dropped the 411 and who kicked who today to the curb, kicking people to the curb. That's what they're into. They're into the stupid, rowdy, disgusting, ungodly ways of life. And then they wonder why their life is going terrible. It says she does not eat the bread of idleness. Her husband also and her praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. This is a virtuous wife. This is God's standard. This is God's idea of what a woman should be. You didn't hear that woman in the last clip say anything like that. It was all about her trying to put a man down. Then you got women out here, well, why should I help a man pay the bills? Look, 70% of all married households in America are two-parent homes where the man and the woman both work and they both contribute to the household. So if you're doing 50-50 or if you're doing 60-40, let's say that you're married and your husband is paying 60% of the bill and you're only paying 40, but you're both working full times. Well, if you were by yourself, you will be paying it all by yourself, 100% of everything. But you have a man that comes along and says, I'll take 60% of that off your hands. Any woman that thinks that that's a bad deal is a stupid woman. She doesn't know how to do math. She's just bad at math. If she'd rather pay everything by herself because she can't get her way and have a man pay it all, then she's stupid at math. She's a dummy at math. She doesn't know how to add and subtract. She just doesn't know it. It's simple, basic math. She doesn't know anything about it. Because in her mind, if I ain't getting it all, he can't pay it all, I don't need nobody. I do it by myself. Well, do it by yourself. I can do bad all by myself. We hear that a lot. And so what men, especially black men today, what they're saying, okay, you do it all by yourself, and I'm going to get me a passport, and I'm going to go overseas, and I'm going to marry this woman of another ethnicity. See, we all know the comedian Dave Chappelle, right? You know Dave Chappelle was married to an Oriental woman. Yeah, he's married to an Oriental woman. He didn't marry a black woman. And see, you got these people out here talking about, well, they look at the football players in the NBA draft and the NFL draft, and they get mad because all these brothers that are getting drafted into the NFL that are going to be making millions of dollars, they have white girls. They have white women, they have Asian women, and they don't have, and black women be getting pissed off about that. They got all their white girls. Well, the white girls are playing the long game. The other ethnic women in the world are playing the long game. They see a black man and they say, this brother got his act together. He gonna be good, and I'm gonna be right there for him. So while he's in college, while he's in high school, she's by his side. She's helping him out. She'll buy him lunch. She'll bring his lunch to practice. She'll do things for him. She's going to be his girl. And she's going to show her loyal to him before he has a dime. And once he gets it and makes it to the NFL or NBA and he gets that big contract, he's not going to let her go for you, black woman, because you didn't want him. You didn't want him until after he crossed the finish line. And no man wants a woman who wants him after he's made it. These women are taught to take care of men and be with them before they get it. And when they get it, they'll remain there. See, they're playing a game that you people, well, niggas ain't shit. Those niggas ain't shit. Okay, we got it. We heard you loud and clear. So now these young brothers that are making this big money in the NFL, they're marrying other women. They're marrying other women. They're marrying out, as they say. And who can blame them? See, I'm going to say this real fast, and then I'm going to move on to the next video. I can name you about 10 famous actresses that have been married to white men, and black men don't care. We have not said a word. We never bring it up. We never bring it up when Serena Williams married a white guy. We didn't bring it up when Halle Berry married 2 white guys. We didn't bring it up if that Alfre Ritter, the great actress Alfre Ritter, is married to a white guy. We don't care that Vanessa Williams is married to a white guy. We don't care that Zoe Saldana is married to a white guy. You ever heard of the guy George Lucas who made the Star Wars series and everything? He's a billionaire. His wife is black. We don't care. It's you black women that always bring up when a black man marries somebody else. But if a woman marries somebody that's white, oh, go ahead, sister. Go ahead with your bad self. Go ahead, queen. Go ahead, queen. Look, you can't control black men. You can't, and you never will. So you can't shame us. You can't insult us. You can't do anything to make us want you unless you act right. Black men are walking away. Let's get to the next clip.
What's your favorite thing about black men?
Nothing. Black men suck.
What's your
They're bad. They cheat. They don't care. I'm with the white boys.
favorite thing about black men?
Nothing.
Why is that?
I don't like black men. Not very many meet my standard.
What's your favorite thing about black men?
Nothing.
Why
they're just terrible.
Even when you just said that, because I'm thinking about the guest that we just had, she admitted that, her father wasn't a productive father, which I guess justify why she is allowed to say negative things about black men. It's okay for black women to say stuff like that. Like, they will critique a lot of black men sometimes with, oh, you must hate your mother. Like, we get that a lot. You must hate your mother.
Well, they say that to me. I must hate my mom.
Yeah,
I'm
like
holding black women accountable.
When black women have these negative thoughts about black men, nobody says you must hate your father. And it's clearly true.
Yeah.
That one experience can cause you to have a whole hatred towards men. And for some reason that's valid. But when a black man is not allowed to have that same experience with his mom.
So you can see that last clip, there was about 4 or 5, maybe 6 black girls that said, what do you like about black? Nothing. What do you like about black men? Nothing. What do you like about black men? Nothing. They cheat. All this crazy stuff. Well, the statistics show that black women cheat just as much as black men. And some people say even more. But I digress. Here's the thing that you can see in that last video that was common is that these were all young black women, probably not even 30 years old. And they had an attitude about black men. And that attitude about black men has been passed down from their mothers. Because probably I would suggest or guess that all of those interviews with those black women that said, what do you like about black men? And they said nothing. All of them are from single parent homes where they've never seen a black man as a steady, contributing father figure. I don't think any of those women in that last clip had a steady father figure at home. And so their whole idea about black men is terrible because probably their moms got pregnant out of wedlock, did not marry the dad. And if the dad wanted to be in the child's life, women will use children to turn them against their fathers. They do it all the time. And black women, white women do it. Every group of women does it. But black women do it too. And so with the percentages as they are, that 80% of black children are born out of wedlock. Here's another percentage that you need to understand, some statistics that you need to understand. 70% of all prison inmates were raised by single mothers. You hear me? 70% of the prison population that is in prison, whether it's a female prison or a male prison, the 70% of the prison inmates, the criminals that are in prison serving time, have been raised by single mothers. But you have women out here, white women too. I've heard white women say they don't need a man. I heard black women, many black women say they don't need a man. And just like in the last video, you saw all these women, young girls saying, what do you like about black men? Nothing. Okay, we got it. We're hearing you loud and clear, and black men are doing something about it. They're walking away from black women.
Okay, I saw this post when I was scrolling through social media. I had to take my time with it, but I wanted to have this discussion, okay? So this woman says, I think successful black men date outside of their race because other races allow their man to take care of them, and black women be on some I don't need a man for nothing-ish. Men like to feel needed. Black women will always remind you that you are not. So first and foremost, what I want to say about this exact post is it's really not necessarily a race thing. Because when we look all over social media, some of the women on TikTok that have the highest amount of followers are white women telling white men that they don't need them either. Now moving forward, what she said about men feeling needed is absolutely true, right? It's absolutely true, but I think everybody wants to feel needed. A woman wants to feel needed in a relationship as well as a man does as well. People can combat, what this woman is saying and try to find fault with it, but if we're being really, really honest, there's no lies told here, okay? I don't need a man for nothing, and every day making him feel like he doesn't deserve to be around you. He should feel lucky. He should feel blessed that you picked him and you chose him. Like, having that mentality, you're going to make a man feel like he's, what am I doing here? If you can do bad all by yourself, then what am I doing here? Why am I wasting our time? Right? And so think about when a man then becomes extremely successful, right? And has way more options maybe than he had before, or just has the finances to be able to actually live and enjoy life. Why would he want to live and enjoy life alongside somebody who is constantly berating him, telling him you don't need him, trying to kill his ego, trying to kill his self-worth, trying to literally cow him down, for lack of better words, speak down to him, break him down to size? Like, why would he want that as his counterpart when he has already gone through whatever struggles, trials, to become successful, whatever that would mean?
So that was Riva. She has a lot of good content, and I advise anybody that if you've seen the clips, just go over and check out her page. She has a lot of excellent content on relationships, and she seems like she's a lady that has her act together, very smart, very intelligent. So that's a lot to unpack there concerning the woman talking about the reason that black men, successful black men, marry other women is because white women make them feel like they belong. In a nutshell, she has a very valid point. White women can be that way too. I've dated white women. I dated some good white women and some bad white women. In fact, I dated two white women that were pretty crazy. So it's not something that's just with black women only, but it's more of a degree that it affects us as black men because we have to deal with it more. And percentages wise, as far as the actual percentages of black women that actually get married, is the lowest of any ethnic group on planet Earth. And white women are second. Black women marry at 25% now. It used to be 26. It's now dropped to 25. And it is projected to drop to 22 to 21% in the next 10 years. So going back to that whole thing, if you got 100 single black women in a room, in 10 years, those 100 black people in the room, only 22 to 21 of them will ever get married. Whereas white women marry at 54%, double the rate of black women. They marry at 54%. So that is a startling statistic. And what she was talking about, River was talking about in that video she was cooking, why would a man want to marry a woman and he's successful and she's trying to tear him down the whole time, trying to make him feel like he ain't worth anything? Here's something that I'll share, a personal story with you. I was married some 20-something years ago, dating my age a little bit. I'm a middle-aged man. So got married in my 20s, and I was working at a hospital. And the hospitals offered me a job, but they said, we think you can do the job, but we want you to get a little bit more education and take some classes. And so I said, okay, cool. So I signed up for the class and started taking the classes. And me and my ex-wife at the time, we were pretty newly married. And so I had to borrow the money to take the classes from my brother. My brother had a very excellent job. He was a designer and he made good money. And, oh yeah, no problem, Stan. Just gave me money. And I started taking the classes. Well, this pissed my ex-wife off so bad. You know what she said to me? You should have got your education a long time ago. She was mad because that job, they wanted me to get a little bit more education, and they were going to give me a raise, a big raise. And that would have put me way above what she was making. And she was pissed off about it because she didn't want to see me making that type of money. Now, I had a friend who was married to a white girl, and I was telling them about it. And his wife, she's white, she said, damn, black women are freaking, she said it this way. She said, black women are fucking nuts. She said, you're going to be making money and it's going to be coming into your own household, so it's going to help her out. But she don't want to see you make more money. She didn't want me to get ahead of her. That's the attitude that black men have to deal with. And the average white woman sees that and they don't understand. It blows them away when they see black women act like that. Well, this is the reason. You don't want to see us with anything. You don't think we're shit. So those are your words, because I heard women say it. So now black men are saying, okay, we got the message. We're walking away from you women. We're choosing other women now. And in that last clip I was playing, she was talking about this is the reason why successful black men don't want to marry black women. Who wants to marry a woman who's pissed off at them and trying to drag them back down the grid, or spend all the money and blow everything instead of trying to build a generational wealth and save money and do the right thing with it? No man wants that. No man wants that. I wouldn't do it. I don't want a woman like that. What color? I don't care what color she is. I don't want a woman like that. That's crazy. So this is where we're at, and I'm gonna get to the next clip because we're running a little long here. So let's get.
How about we don't pick any men? How about we don't pick men at all? Okay, we'll stay single, get our careers in motion, be happy, just do our own thing. Single's not too bad, actually. Thanks for that advice.
I got a question. Where do these girls be finding these men who be buying them cars, taking them to trips, spoiling them, buying them Chanel bags? Where's these type of men at? Clearly not here in Oklahoma, so I need to be directed in the right direction.
How is it that you say that you like me but never send me no money? Make it make sense to me.
We don't.
But I might got my own money, but I'm sick of taking care of my goddamn self. I need a real man to step to the motherfucking front line and take over. Hold a bitch down. And they always come up, ooh, the things I would do for you if we was together trying to sweet talk me. Do them now. What's holding you back? Because the bills due now, not later. So send the motherfucking funds. And then we could discuss an arrangement and a potential relationship between you and I.
Women need a man.
Oh, God. Okay. You want me to break it down for you?
Do women need a man?
Right now? Do this day and age?
This day and age? Absolutely. Yesterday's day and age?
Okay.
And
so,
tomorrow?
This day and age, no, a woman don't need a man.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
So what you're seeing there is just a kaleidoscope of just transactional women who only want to deal in relationships that are transactional. Give me money, 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 money. Of course, relationships to some extent are transactional, but you don't have to be transactional with a woman who's not your wife. If she doesn't have your ring on her finger and your last name, you don't owe her anything unless you're taking her out on a date. You can take her out on a date, you can pay for the date, but you don't have to take her shopping. You ain't got to pay for her nails, her hair, her rent, her car payments, and none of that stuff if she don't belong to you. If she does not have your last name and your ring on her finger, you don't owe her any of that. And men who do those type of things are simps. They're simps. But here's what we're looking at right now with women saying that they don't need a man. It's rebellion. It's the spirit of rebellion. And they're not rebelling against you as men. They're rebelling against God's authority and his plan for mankind. That's what they're really rebelling against. And it's from a spiritual source. It's from Satan. Now, this may be a little bit more spiritual to some people, but that's where it's from. It's all devil-oriented. It's all satanic-oriented. And here's the thing about black women who take up for each other, who run in groups and the sisterhood. And no matter how bad a sister acts, you got a bunch of the whole sisterhood is taken up for. Well, here's the thing. Black women are turning against black men, but they're not being married in large numbers by any other ethnic group of men. Yes, you'll find some black women here and there that get someone outside of a race, but as a whole, they're not going to find a whole lot of white men or Latino men that'll take up black, because they hear and they see how black women act. They see the ratchetness, they see the ghetto-ness, they see all that stuff on TikTok and YouTube. They see those things, and so black women turn to each other. The sisterhood turns to each other. Here's a statistic that I know you probably won't believe, but I believe it's true. At least 35 to 40% of all black women have had a sexual encounter with another black woman. Check this out. 35 to 40% of all black women today have had an intimate sexual encounter with another black woman. So they're saying that they don't need a man. Well, who are they going to turn to? They're going to turn to having sex with each other. Now, here's a statistic that I don't know the numbers to, but I bet if they did a survey and a study on it, it'll be proven true. That black women have the highest percentage of growing population of lesbians than any other ethnic group. Here's why I know that has to be true. Because they are the least married of any other ethnic group, and they show the most disdain and hateful for black men. See, white women don't show the percentage of hatred for white men as black women show for black men. Latino women don't show the hatred for Latino men as black women show for black men. That is just a fact, Jack. And I guarantee you, if they did a study on it, then you will find that black women have the highest percentage of growing population of lesbians of any other ethnic group of women. And here's a good indication. If you look at the WNBA, the WNBA is a league, female basketball league. According to Candace Wiggins, who's a former WNBA player, she's black, she said the WNBA is 98% lesbians. And she said they hassled her all the time because she wasn't one of them and they wanted her to be one of them. This is the same problem that Caitlin Clark has, because that's why she's hated. If Caitlin Clark was a lesbian, she would be more like, see, the last NBA draft, Paige Booker, the #1 draft pick into the WNBA, Paige Booker, came out on draft day as a lesbian. She had her lesbian girlfriend with her. So, if Caitlin Clark was a lesbian, she'd be probably praised more. She wouldn't have the problems. Paige Booker is not getting the hatred that Caitlin Clark is getting, because Caitlin Clark is a straight heterosexual white girl in a league full of lesbians. The WNBA is 67 to 70% black. And those black women, the 67 to 70% black women in the WNBA, 99% of them are lesbians. Think about that. Think about it. So, if you're going to walk away from men, there's consequences to it. There's consequences. And black men, I'm telling you right now, there's probably still some good black women out there. I know that there are. But the ones that are rejecting you, and they're rejecting you in large numbers, get your passports, go to other countries, and find you a woman who has traditional values. Because this thing over here is steeped in feminism, and it is satanic. And if you want the life that God has for you, you don't. See, this whole feminist thing is in the church too. It's in the body of Christ. It's in the church. It's just as much in the church in the United States as it is anywhere else. It's anywhere else. There's full of homosexuals and lesbians in the church that don't have men. There are churches out there full of women, undercover lesbians. That's a fact. I know, because I done seen it. So, do yourself a favor, man, and you women who are still looking for a good man, get on the plan of God. See, the only thing that's going to fix all this, the only thing that can fix it, is to repent. Repentance. And repent means to turn around from your ways and start doing things different. And they're not good. I don't see no solution to the problem except repentance. I don't see no solution to the problem except for truly repenting, giving your life to Jesus Christ, and following his plan and submitting to men. If you can't do that, this is the life that you're going to live for yourself, by yourself. God bless. Have a good day. You've been listening to Hear Me Out Podcast. I'm your host, S.W. Griffin. Hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you.